It's time for the rundown. Tune in as Amelia and Lori share their must-dos in some of their favorite cities, amuse you with their guilty pleasures, share the unsung promo hero of the week, and help decipher all those impossible text acronyms.
Hello and welcome to episode 25 of The Rundown. I'm Amelia Madl with Promo Corner, and joining me is the one and only Miss Lori Bolton of the Magnet Group. Lori, how are you?
I am good, Amelia. I'm doing really good. I am well into my new journey at the Magnet Group, and
Awesome.
so amazing. I spent an entire week at they call it Washmo, and it's we have two factories in Missouri, and let me just tell you, the hospitality was, yes, I got trained and the training was fabulous. The hospitality was just amazing. I had people taking me to lunch every day, people taking me to dinner, and yes, I did a cleanse this week. I need to reset my body. They introduced me to fried ravioli. Fried ravioli. Like, I had never even heard of it. I've heard of fried pickles and I've heard of like stuffed fair food, but I've never heard of fried ravioli. And I'm like, oh gosh, should I or shouldn't I? I'm like, all right, let's order one for the table. And it's so good.
My daughter really likes it. So you said Washmo, which is Washington, Missouri, which is
Yes,
not really in my hood, but it's in Missouri, which is just a stone's throw. So it's kind of in my hood, but I've been to Washington, Missouri. It's a cute little town.
so
I'm
cute.
just sad that it didn't work out for us to meet, like for you to like come to Kansas City or for me to get away. It would have been great to hang out in person, but
It would have been so great.
the joys of traveling again, back to being on the road, Lori.
Back to being on the road. What's going on with you?
I don't even know. Let's see. Last time we talked, everybody had been sick. So everybody is safe, clean. The house has been scrubbed, disinfected. My mom's actually here today. It's my son had his last flag football game last night, so she wanted to watch him play, and it's the last varsity football game for the high school tonight, so she wanted to watch my daughter cheer. So she had kind of pushed her trip because she wanted to make sure my house was clean. So I've literally shampooed the couches, cleaned the leather couches, washed every blanket in the house. I was like, it's clean. So yeah, so I've been shuffling kids around. Now we have a nice reprieve for a little bit for the season. We can get our lives back on track. I've got to get back on my bike. I've taken a 2 or 3 week hiatus just because I just haven't had time. I've just been rushing and leaving and going to events. So
So do you know what this means?
Back. Do what?
Do you know what this means?
What?
Your butt's going to be sore again, Amelia. 3 weeks, you were building up.
My calluses are gone, and that's why I bought the bicycle
Cute.
shorts, because the double padding, so with the padded seat and the padded tush, that saves. So I will get back on it now that I don't have to worry about rushing out of work to drive 45 minutes to a game and then feed a kid before we go to something else. I actually have time to take a lunch break because I'm not worried about getting everything done over the course of the day. So,
Oh God.
you have a new Living with Lori, and I'm sure at this point my memory has failed. So I know you have something new, but we've talked a lot about hydration, water, lemon, getting up and walking around, journaling.
Ooh, good job. You remember journaling.
What was the last one?
We had planking.
Oh, planking. Yeah.
And then
I
the
failed.
last, no. And then the last one was just with the holidays coming, make sure that you have balance in your life. So incorporate all the things that we've talked about up until this point, and then give yourself some grace, right? So have that balance, give yourself some grace. It's okay if things aren't perfect. I know we've got people out there that like things to be just so. It's okay. It's okay if it's not just so. It's okay.
So what do we do now?
So
have
you've got all these tools, right?
Now that I've memorized all of those and done none of them, what should I add to my list?
I love it. So this is going to be more food for thought today rather than adding something to your list. Continue working through the different things we've talked about, getting up and walking. That's so important. Getting away from your desk. I today started my day with an echelon ride. I got up at 4:30 and I did Nicole Griffin's ride. Mm-hmm. It was a Fusion 45-minute feels amazing. But again, that's scheduling time for me. Steve's still sleeping, I've got my time. But something that's interesting, it's called the circle of life. And I use this with clients when I see clients. So the circle of life, you've got primary food and you've got secondary food. Primary food is not what we consume. It's the stuff in our life that influences perhaps what we do eat, which is secondary food. So there's 12 components to circle of life. So you've got your career, you've got your household relationships, friendships, religion. It's a pie of 12 things. If your circle of life is out of whack, because it's going to ebb and flow depending on season, depending on where we are, your secondary food is going to be out of whack. And that's what we consume. So think about this, and I'm going to use me for an example, but career-wise, I've just recently made a change in career. So when I look at my circle of life, primary food, that was not in line for me. And I'm sure it's not in line for a lot of people, but it's actually looking at it and doing something about it and making that change. Like everything else on the chart looks like it's in line, and you've got one thing that's not, it's going to affect everything else. It's going to affect the household. It's going to affect my exercise. It's going to affect my relationships. It's interesting. So pay attention to what's going on that you have control over, which is, again, we're calling it primary food, the circle of life. And perhaps we'll throw up what the circle of life looks like.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have a chart or something we can put in the comments for people to see what all the circles? I totally get it. It's when you're stressed, home, spouse, children, job. If there is something, it runs over into your life, especially because we work, live, play. Everything is really in our house right now. Yes. So yeah, I've definitely had to have a couple come to Jesus's with my household lately about like, this isn't working. And because of this, it's affecting me in these ways.
Yes.
So like, can we all just be more conscious of how we're talking to each other, what we're doing, what we're saying, how we're reacting to things? Because I try not to let other people affect me, but it's a whole dynamic, especially when you're all pent up in a house together. Okay. So I mentioned that my mom is here, and I actually asked her, I was trying to get her on. I was like, Mom, I mean, you did all kinds of bad shit raising me. I could call out a ton of things, but she didn't want to come on camera, and she had dinner or lunch plans with her friends, and she took my kids. So I asked her to tell me a story of what she would consider a mom dip moment. So when she says a baby, but I think around 2, I guess, we were at church, and I was, I guess, crawling around on the floor being a little kid, and picked up some type of like foil candy wrapper. I put it in my mouth, and she said I started like choking and gagging, and I don't know if this is an exaggeration. She swears to God that I started to turn blue, and she was like shaking me, and she stands up in the middle of church, which I'm sure there's like at least a good 50 people there, and starts screaming like, my baby's dying. My baby's dying. She didn't know what to do. I'm just turning blue, and she's just screaming frantically. Oh my God. Somebody that was there happened to also be a nurse or something and gave me the Heimlich. And I was like, well, how did they do it? Did they do it the appropriate way? And she's like, no, she grabbed you from behind. I was like, that's not how you give the 2-year-old a Heimlich. You do it inverted back.
Yes.
Probably didn't know it. They probably
hold them by their feet.
But so I was like, what happened? She's like, well, she came and, you coughed it up and you got your color back. I go, and then what happened? She goes, they just continued with the sermon. I was like, great. So glad nobody was like, should we take her to another room and monitor her? Should we go home? Nope. They just, she's got her color back. So I didn't eat anything. So I didn't put anything else in my mouth and just continued on. So I guess my mom's mom dip moment is that she didn't kill me as a child, because I think there are a few instances where things had happened and I was like rolling away in cars that rolled away and stuff like that. So,
oh my gosh, that is awesome.
So my stories are mild. I'm just teaching my children, whereas my mom's mom dip moments were me half dying some of the times.
I love it, Amelia. So good.
Oh my gosh. So shout out to whoever the hero was that saved me. I don't know. My mom says I know her, but I
don't remember.
A child. Yeah, that was eons ago.
But yeah, those wrappers aren't going to digest. Those are going to get stuck. Oh my gosh.
The baby, I don't know.
But it just reminds you, like, we don't have littles anymore, but just, gosh, so many people around us are having littles, in the industry. It's like, oh, just to, again, like, you're constantly watching and what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, that is a good segue to our next part, which is our unsung promo hero. So shout out to the unsung. And speaking of people that have littles, our nominator is Miss Carrie Petrie from the Magnet Group. And she nominated Leah Newman from the Magnet Group. So let's take a listen to Miss Carrie's video.
Hi, I'm Carrie Petrie with the Magnet Group, and my unsung hero is Leah Newman. Leah's dedication to her job, willingness to help her customers in any way possible, and great attitude make her so deserving of this shout out. For those of you that have worked with her, you already know this. For those of you that haven't, please reach out today. You are not going to be disappointed. I certainly couldn't do my job as effectively without her. She's so deserving of this.
All right. That was awesome, Carrie. Thank you so much for submitting your video. I'm sure Lori didn't strong arm you too much. And thank you, Leah, for being such an amazing person and being nominated. And just keep doing you, girl. Keep doing it.
Thank you, Leah. I have the pleasure of working with her as well. She's amazing and so well deserved. So congrats.
That's awesome. So you can attest. So
Yes.
With all of your traveling and bebopping around, what have you had time to have a guilty pleasure? You can't say echelon because you haven't been home enough to ride your bike. So what have you been doing?
No, but I do it on the weekends. But yes. So last episode, we were talking about Squid Games. So I took your advice and because I stopped it right when the ice pick was there. It was like at the very beginning. I'm like, I can't do this. So I took your advice. I pushed through it. And the more I watched it, it's more of like, I don't want to say cartoon characters, Amelia, but do you know what I mean? They're not, it's like,
it's so over the top. Also because it's dubbed.
Yes. So I was able to get through a lot of it, but then again, traveling, I didn't have like access to all this, but, it made the news this last week about like that they're wanting to not have it. I don't know. What is it rated? Is it rated R?
Definitely mature.
So I think there was talks about it, like not that there's incidences now happening out in the real world around
of people trying to emulate the Squid Games.
Correct. So I don't know. I haven't watched it all, but there's that. And then there's two others that I've been watching. So I'm doing an Amelia. I've got like multiple things going. So Made, which is so good. And then another series called You.
Yes. I'm watching all three of those as well. So
really?
I'm glad you're finally finally giving the brainwaves.
So good. Like You is very interesting. It started off like it got me. Right. But those are the three that I'm watching. I've got some time this weekend to get caught up on those. So you're watching all three as well, or have you finished?
Yes. So Squid Games, I don't know how many there are. I didn't skip to see how many episodes are, but I think I'm on 7. So it's getting down to a small group. It is ridiculous and it's super gory and bloody. I didn't see that news story, but I have been seeing it in the Morning Brew. Like I get an article every morning in my inbox and I read up about it. So Squid Games has been seen 142 million times or been activated on Netflix 142 million times. And it is number 1 in over 94 countries.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Well, I mean, kudos to them. I should have written down what they took to make it was a teeny tiny percentage or fraction of what it has earned so far because it's just gangbusters. Yeah. I watched The Maid, which was one season, very good, a struggling girl who's in her early 20s, has a baby. The man changes. He's an alcoholic. He comes from a family of alcoholics. She grew up with a mom that was undiagnosed bipolar. The dad was a drinker when she was an infant, but she has no one. The husband or the boyfriend, I guess, totally secludes her, controls her, and it's her struggles for how she's going to break the cycle, get out of the cycle, and do better for her daughter. And it's really good. It's tough, and it's
so good.
It's a story that happens a lot. So
oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, it's a little hard to watch this sometimes just because of how hard, like most people would just give up, and she is just a fighter and just keeps going. So if you want to watch that, completely different than Squid Games. It's called Made. It's on Netflix. It's also on the top 10. And then You is like a thriller serial killer. This is the 3rd season, but you're still on season 1, right?
Oh, I'm still on season. I'm not as quick as you.
Well, the 3rd season just came out.
Okay, good.
I've already watched the others when they came out and released. So season 3 just came out, and I'd already seen the other 2 seasons. But it's really good. It's really good. So
it is so good. So Made, You, and Squid Games.
Yeah.
That's been my guilty pleasure.
I'm working on them. So yeah, that's what. And now that it's fall, I'm going to have more time because I won't be running around at sporting events, and it's going to be chilly. So
good.
Yeah, I have several that I've started on Apple TV. So I need to finish one and move on because it gets hard to watch all these different shows. All right. So those are our guilty pleasures. I hope you guys have been watching, and we'll kind of talk about them as we continue through. So Lori, I have some terms. Some are acronyms and some are just slang. And I got these from none other than the one and only Ellen DeGeneres. So she had a game show where she had Gen Zs trying to decipher what these millennial terms were. So I have 5, and only one is an acronym. So we'll start with that. The others just have like meaning.
Okay.
So this one is a true acronym. So IYKUK. IYKUK.
Is I.
I is not I.
Oh, good.
It's an actual word.
Gosh.
If we were messaging this and you were like on point, or we were being kind of funny, or I was like, damn straight, and you would reply, IUKU.
Oh gosh, Amelia, this is hard. Give me the first word.
If.
Oh, I've got incredibly iconic.
Very simple. They're all very simple.
Okay.
The U's mean you. And
if you know, you know.
Huh? What'd you say?
If you know, you know.
Yes. I was going to say the Gen Zer on TV got it right. So Lori, I was hoping.
Thank you. That first word helped me so much because again, I was going down like incredibly iconic.
Okay. So these are just terms that slang, I guess, maybe the kids say these days.
Yes.
So it's not an acronym. It just means something. So you tell me what you think himbo means.
Himbo. Like if I'm saying it to you or a kid saying it to a kid, like that's her boyfriend.
It's a male bimbo. A himbo. So it's a dumb male that's attractive. Himbo.
Himbo. Okay.
Himbo. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So this one has, I think, 2 meanings. One is not PG, so we are going with the PG meaning. Bussin'.
Oh, Amelia.
That sure is bussin', Lori.
That's bussin'. It's hot.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's
it's good. It's cool. You bussin'.
Oh my gosh, I feel old right now.
Okay, this one I'd never heard of. kind of need a new marker. This one's almost out of juice. This slaps.
This sucks.
No, it's means good. This slaps.
Who, Amelia, who makes these up?
These are, I don't know.
I don't know
But
either.
hey, if they're popular enough that Ellen DeGeneres was playing a game show on her show, I figured we could reuse them.
Is this the show where people get dropped from 10,000 feet into a...
No, this wasn't her game show. This was just her talk show.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this one is really silly and nobody really got it. So she gave it and then somebody in the audience said what it was used for. This is gonna be an education. I don't expect you to get it. Hinlow.
I was going to say, hell no. Is that right?
Hell no, Hinlow.
No. Well, look at this bussin'. I mean, the same thing, or himbo.
Yeah. Bussin'.
Henlo.
Next time you're with your kids and you guys are doing something fun that like it's really cool, you're like, man, this is bussin'.
This is bussin'.
See if they know what you're
Mom,
talking
where have you been? Who took over you? Henlo. Henlo.
It's used in memes. I would never have, you'll never guess it. Okay, so this is just a PSA because we'll be here for 5 hours trying to figure it out. So it's used in memes and it's usually used when a human is talking to an animal, like saying hello to an animal or hello to a dog. Henlo is the term that they use in memes when a person is communicating or saying hello to a dog. I don't get it. So if somebody understands what the hell it means or how that happened, please tell us.
I'm sticking with hell no.
Hell no. I always just say ruh-roh. That's how I talk to my dogs. Ruh-roh.
This is crazy.
Good thing they're outside or they'd all be scratching at my door right now. Okay, Lori, do you have anything to torture me with or?
I have 2 cards for you. This one is easy. This one's easy, Amelia. A down arrow and
A mountain?
a mountain.
Okay, and these are TV shows.
These are US TV edition.
Okay. Down. It's not going to be mountain. Down, mountain, down.
Remember the
side,
arrows are funky. They mean something else.
off mountain, out of range. Trying to think of a TV show. Is it a current TV show?
I don't think so, but I'm the wrong person to ask.
It's not mountain. It's got to be like hill or cliff or
What's this arrow?
it's down to me.
So what else is down if you've got your ways?
South.
Yeah.
South Park.
Yay! Amelia.
Do you know what South Park is?
No.
It's a cartoon. It's on MTV. On MTV, it was an animated TV show. And the guy talked like this, and he was like,
Oh,
Talk to
I
us.
think
yeah, Mr. Pooh.
Is it still going?
I have no idea. You know how long it's
MTV
been since
still
I watched MTV?
I don't know.
Like early 90s.
Exactly. I can go way back even like earlier.
What
but
was the South Park character? There was something like Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh or something. And there's literally like a little Pooh character that walked around.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. This is like
I
don't
haven't
know.
watched that for a long, long time. Oh God. Walking top of the crown.
So
A
this
man walking to the
means
east.
different than what the last like they're using it multiple ways.
Okay, man over castle. High castle. Ooh,
Ooh.
I've seen that show.
Yes, you
The Man in the
have.
High Castle.
Yes, Amelia. Like, how do you know this?
That is a Amazon TV show.
Oh my goodness. I pulled a hard one thinking I got her.
The man. Yes. And I
Nice.
did watch that and I need to finish it. I think I've watched all of the episodes or multiple seasons, but I did not watch the final episode to figure out what the hell it was all about anyways. It's really mind bending. So yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for joining us this week. Be sure you comment below and we will have Lori try to figure out how to put up the pie chart of the circle of life with the 5 steps. Don't forget to nominate your unsung promo hero. You can just take a quick 1-minute video and email it over to me. And then tune in again on November 22nd to hear more Living with Lori tips and how I've mommed it again. Also, it's No Shave November. So ladies, it's a free pass. Gentlemen as well. I forgot to bring that up earlier. No Shave November.
Love it. Yes.
I'm already on it.
It's winter, so why?
You know, what's the point? Gotta stay warm.
Yes.
All right. Take care and we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.